Alright guys, welcome back to Project YFZ, and I'm sure you're wondering what I've been doing with the four-wheeler and what's been going on. So you're going to hear all that in this video, what have been going on, when I found the problems, parts I found I need to order, all that stuff coming right up. When I bought this four-wheeler, he said the battery was basically half a year old, but it is dead. Just I guess from cranking on it. So what we're going to be doing right now is basically getting down to the battery and throwing it on my trickle charger and hoping that that will charge it up so that we can do something with this in terms of diagnosis later on. Alright, so we got the battery just pulled right out. It wasn't actually too hard to do. So as you've seen, I'm sure you've seen me talk about, and I did a review on this battery charger once in another video, but they're you know, geared at smaller ATV and lawn tractor batteries, but they can also act as a battery tender for larger batteries. So we're just gonna throw our clamps on there and see what it does. As you see, it immediately recognized this was a 12 volt normal, and it's all flashing. That's what I expect. He said it was totally dead, and when it's all flashing, it means it's not even enough battery to even recognize 25%. So we'll just leave that to charge. Alright guys, so before I get into what I found, I'm going to explain something to you basically. So we know it's an electrical problem. Well, the first problem is we're not getting any spark, okay? We did spark plug or a spark test and there's no spark. So I found this service manual online, and it gives you basically a troubleshooting for the ignition system, and it is super handy, and it tells you what to do step 1, and it just goes down step 2. It also has, you know, all the wiring diagrams, all that stuff, what to check for in the ignition system if you're not getting spark. So it starts out with basic stuff. Obviously we've tested the ignition coil and switches and checking for continuity and everything and resistance. The manual's great. It shows you what resistance you want and all that stuff. And we're just working our way around the wiring, and I can't get all that on video because it's just too much to, you know, I mean, it's just troubleshooting. It doesn't happen to everybody. Everything's different. It would be a bore to watch. It's just going over and testing with the electrical tester and referring to the manual. So it's not that exciting. I'm not gonna film it happening. So that's just what I want to explain to you guys. That's what we've been doing. And with that being said, now I'm going to go and explain to you what I've seen so far and some of the parts I need to order, and we're going to be doing some work on the four-wheeler in this video. Alrighty, so here's my original battery that came with it. I charged it up. I got my friend to charge it on his car trickle charger, and it says that it's full, but in reality it's not. It's got 2 volts, the electrical tester says, and it's not even trying to crank it. Fortunately, the really nice thing is my buddy has an 04 YFZ 450, and he lives just down the street, so he'll bring his quad over and we'll compare parts, compare things, swap parts to, you know, see if that's the problem. And 04s to 06s, they're pretty much very identical, so that's been great. Having 2 bikes to work off is just so, it's such a help. Also the online forums are great too. But anyway, that battery is shot. Like, it's not holding charge, it's not taking charge, and I believe it's a sealed battery, so there's nothing we can do. It's $60 for a new one on Amazon, or $120 at the local parts store. So I think I'll wait a few days and just get the one from Amazon. But that's it. So I have to buy a new one. The one on here is my buddy's, and I've just been using it to try out different things. He ruined his neutral relay switch, and he borrowed mine when I was away, and then I'm going to be away again. But he doesn't have his new neutral relay switch yet, and I've taken my back since I'm testing out, so he just gave me his battery. But so we've been testing around, going over everything. Here's the back light. You can see it working today. There's the neutral relay switch. We've done a couple different things. First of all, this ground was ripped out when the stone came in here. There's actually a plug that goes right on that, and that is, I believe this is the clutch sensor or neutral sensor perhaps, but that needs to be fixed. Another big thing is just this wire that goes all the way up to the front is just crossed at the end. This wire isn't on my friends, and we really just don't know what it's for. It seems to be going back there somewhere, but stator and everything is all hooked up. There was a new stator, new starter put on. We have the coil here. We've checked, and it looked like he hasn't had a new spark plug. He's just not getting spark. Ground it, so that's our main problem. We're just not getting spark. Coming around, there's another red flag. That was this wire was just cut, and we believe it goes in here, and it's the main power for the lights. And then there's another red flag, which is this wire, which actually goes down to that plug there and hooks up to the coil resistor. At least that's what I believe it is. And it was just kind of in with these wires here onto this thing, which I don't know what it is either. It does say coil on there, so maybe that's the coil resistor. I just honestly don't know. And yeah, so anyway, I'm going to show you what it does. So you just turn that on, and our lights, our back brake light turns on because the brake handle was just kind of flopping around in here. It needed a washer or something, but normally when it's bolted in, it presses that button, and then when you pull in, it releases that, which, you know, puts the brake light on. But the low, there's it at the off, it's on, and then at the low, it dims down, and then on the high, it brightens back up. Now this switch isn't, so yeah, but you can turn our key there. The run switch, we opened this up, the run switch isn't actually working properly, so I believe I need a new one of these. It's actually missing a main bolt in here, a screw. So we just kind of have this here, but this on and off, it messes it up. So anyway, I'm going to show you what happens. Well, I'm just going to crank it for fun, but it does crank, so I mean, it cranks away there, but obviously no spark, and I'm not trying to spark it right now, don't worry about that. So anyway, it's got we're finding new things, and I think that's enough I've shared with you for now. Don't want to make this video too long, but that's just a brief update. I don't really think there's anything else to add to that update. The only other thing I've done, or there's been a few things I've done, but I took a power washer and I went over that whole frame and cleaned it up a lot, and then the plastics I also tried to clean with the power washer without taking stickers off, and I did successfully do that, but most of the dirt, except, you know, the excess, seemed to stay on there, so that's more of a you know, a rag and a soap and water thing. But cleaning your stuff, I don't know why he started a project with it that dirty, but he did. And for now, it's just really just troubleshooting away different things. It could be a CDI box or a new CDI it needs. It could be a coil resistor. We tested what we think is the coil resistor, and it didn't seem to have any resistance, but we need to confirm that. And other than that, we're just plugging away and slowly going over every piece of equipment on the wiring harness.